I just got your message. What's the problem?
Can you wait just a minute? I have to wait on these customers.
Well, yes, sure, but your message said it was urgent. What is it?
I've got to get Frisco out of jail. Coffee.
Of course you're concerned. Nobody wants Frisco in jail. Believe me, it wasn't easy on Robert.
I've got to get him out.
Well, it may not be too difficult. Robert's fond of Frisco, and I know he will be fair. Well, I'm more concerned about you. Does Frisco still blame you for Tony's shooting?
Yes, and he has every right to.
You didn't do anything intentionally.
That's not the point. The truth is, I've taken a long look at my life, and I don't like what I see. There's a side of me that's ugly. Frisco saw it. He said so.
Oh, Felicia.
He said I'm a user. He's right. I am a user, and I've always used people.
You sound like you're being very hard on yourself.
I think it's about time that I was. I look at my life, and I realize I've developed a talent for using men, and I've exploited it for all it's worth. And I think I know why I use men as opposed to women usually.
Why?
Because I've been raised with them. My grandmother and my great-grandmother, they always catered to me. They treated me like I was their little princess.
And how does that lead to using men?
I never learned to trust men. I never even knew any men when I was growing up. And then when there finally were men in my life, I resented them.
Resented them for what?
The assumptions they made.
And what were those?
That I should be dependent on them, both financially and emotionally.
Resenting men doesn't necessarily lead to using them.
But I did because it was so easy. I know I've always been attracted to men, or men have always been attracted to me, and they always did things for me. And it was so easy to take advantage of that.
Some men like doing things for beautiful women. They don't mind being taken advantage of.
But there are other men who expect more. I've had trouble with those relationships.
And how have you treated those men?
I got defensive. I resented them so much I just wouldn't let them get too close to me.
But you weren't defensive with Frisco, and I know you didn't resent him.
Well, things were stormy at first. But then my defenses started to crumble. He was so patient with me and so giving. He cracked that shell of mine.
And you couldn't accept that?
Obviously, I wasn't ready. I thought that I knew how to trust men, but I still just wasn't ready for that. I didn't even know it.
What makes you realize that now?
Because I broke my promise when Peter showed up. I had a promise with Frisco about the treasure, and I just broke it.
You know, I must just say something, Felicia. There aren't many people who can take such an objective view of themselves. And even fewer who can change as a result of that. I really admire you for that.
I don't have any choice. If there's any hope for us, I have to clean up my act.
Well, if you're that determined, I can't see you doing anything but winning. And if you want any help from me, if there's anything I can do, you must just promise me that you'll let me know.
Of course. But right now I have to think about one thing at a time, and that's getting the bail money for Frisco. I think I'm going to go see Sean about it.
Tell you what, I shall go and see Robert. See if he can tell us anything about the situation. Maybe it's not as difficult as we think.
Well, could you do that?
Consider it done. I'll meet you back here.
Thank you. Robert?
No, we met outside. You busy?
No, thank goodness. I want to find out what all of you guys found out.
Okay, Jake, you go first.
Well, I got in to see Frisco, finally.
Finally.
Yes, he didn't want to see me at first.
Well, why? He must have known you were there to help him, didn't he?
He's not thinking rationally, Felicia. He's still pretty hot under the collar right now.
I know he has a temper. I thought he would have been cooled off by now.
Nope, not yet. He's very hot and angry and ready for a fight. And he's blaming everybody but himself.
Including Robert.
That's right.
Yeah, well, Robert knows that. He just arrested him so he'd calm down a bit.
Did Robert say he was going to bring charges?
No, he doesn't want to. He's just holding him on an open charge.
Did he do that?
For 48 hours. Then he has to name the charge or release him.
Doesn't Frisco realize he's just making things worse? All Robert wants is for him to gain control of himself.
No, he's not doing that. Not yet, anyway.
Meanwhile, poor Tanya is alone. She really needed Frisco. He was a comfort to her. You know, I think I'm going to go over to the hospital, see how she's doing.
I'm going to go with you. You can size up the situation with Tanya. Maybe I can get that message across to Frisco next time I see him.
Right.
I just wish Frisco would realize his behavior is self-defeating. If he'd just stop and think about Tony and Tanya at the hospital, he could be out of jail right now.
You know, the more people who get that message across to him, Felicia, the better.
If I could see him, maybe he'd listen to me.
By the way, did you get the money to post bail? I assume you were going to talk to Sean Donnelly.
Well, I didn't.
What?
I stopped being a user.
See you later.
See ya.
Dr. Ogama, call what you need. Third floor nurses station.
I know that your name is on this list, Holly, but I have got to check every time.
Oh, it's perfectly all right, Amy. The more security, the better.
There it is. You're clear.
Thank you.
Why don't you go ahead? I'll sit in the lounge.
Fine. Is there no improvement at all?
No, there's no change. He's not worse. I guess that's something.
Yeah, of course.
I'm frightened about Frisco, though. I tried calling the police station, and nobody would tell me anything.
Well, he's still in jail, and as soon as he calms down, he'll be released.
But that's what frightens me. What if he doesn't calm down? Holly, he's got this terrible idea about revenge and about finding the killer who attacked Tony and getting even and the whole thing. And the whole thing is so damn pointless.
Yes.
The only thing that matters is if Tony would be all right. And he's going to be. He almost rallied last week. I know he did.
It's going to take some time. But I know he's going to be fine.
But what about Frisco? He's so bent on this idea of revenge and finding the killer and all that. Why not just let the police handle it?
Yeah, of course.
If someone could just talk to him. If someone could just talk to him and make him understand.
Well, maybe someone will.